She suddenly realized that the limping beggar at the street corner just now was her boxer boyfriend who had disappeared for 2 years, and she had failed to recognize him. She frantically chased out the door, running back the way she came, but no matter how hard she searched, she could never see that familiar figure again. The most painful thing in the world is to miss the one you love most, and every punch she landed on her chest felt like performing CPR, filled with despair and suffocation. Their acquaintance began in a security booth on a rainy night. The man was intently watching a boxing match when the door was suddenly pushed open by a strange girl. She sat down naturally and stuffed all the food from her pocket into the man's hands. Cheol-min was puzzled at first, but he soon noticed that the girl's eyes stared straight ahead when she spoke. It turned out she was blind.
누구세요?
누구세요? 할아버지는요?
오늘 그만두셨는데?
Jung-hwa felt a bit downhearted. She explained that she used to come here often to keep her grandfather company, and as she spoke, she put the food she had offered back into her pocket. After apologizing, she awkwardly touched the back of her head and quickly got up to leave. But the heavens intervened, as increasingly heavy rain blocked her way. Watching Jung-hwa stalled outside the window, Cheol-min hesitated briefly before stepping forward to invite her back into the security booth. He changed the TV to Jung-hwa's favorite channel. Turning his head casually, a pure and sweet smile met his eyes, and for a moment he was utterly captivated. Realizing she might have noticed, he hurriedly averted his gaze. As the rain lessened before Jung-hwa left, she handed Cheol-min the gimbap she had made and instructed him to take care of the night-blooming jasmine in the corner. Cheol-min didn't speak, but for the first time in his broken and dim life, anticipation and light appeared. That night, Cheol-min chewed the gimbap heartily, not forgetting to sprinkle some in the water to share with his only companion, the little turtle. For Jung-hwa, that security booth was also a haven. Because she had a beautiful face, she was often subjected to inappropriate advances from her boss, and for the sake of making a living, she could only choose to endure it repeatedly. The old grandfather and the TV in the security booth had been her only way to ease her mood. Although the grandfather was gone now, being blind, she could still keenly sense that this man meant no harm. So the next night they sat together again. Cheol-min opened the door, and again saw Jung-hwa sniffing hard before pushing open the window on the other side. So, under the table, those sweaty feet in socks quietly slipped into shoes. For the first time, he who never paid attention to details began to care about his image. While answering Jung-hwa's questions, he unconsciously curled his feet back, but the unpleasant smell persisted, forcing him to go outside and clean himself thoroughly again. Before parting, he handed the lunchbox back to Jung-hwa and gave her a few peaches in return. Jung-hwa was very happy and reached out her hand to express her thanks. But looking at those white, smooth hands, Cheol-min delayed responding. Only after Jung-hwa reminded him did he hesitantly extend his hand. As their hands touched, it was an unusually hard texture, which naturally made Jung-hwa curious.
무슨 일 하면 손이 이렇게 돼요?
Withdrawing his hand, Cheol-min lowered his head silently and didn't answer the question. Jung-hwa didn't dwell on it. After all, everyone has their secrets, just like that car accident involving her parents. When you care about someone, you remember everything they say. From then on, Cheol-min got a new pair of shoes and calculated Jung-hwa's off-work time to air out the security booth in advance, shaking the dust off his clothes beforehand to ensure the air inside was fresh enough. And that night-blooming jasmine was also well cared for by him. After finishing everything, he would close his eyes and listen closely to the surrounding sounds. Only when he heard the tapping of her cane would a slight smile appear on his face. After several encounters, they gradually became familiar. She would ask him if he was handsome and share her joys and sorrows with him. Unconsciously, this small security booth quietly drew two equally lonely hearts closer to each other. That day, as the TV program ended, Jung-hwa was about to go home when a sudden honk behind her startled her, causing her to fall and knock over a nearby liquor bottle. Cheol-min rushed forward, terrified she might cut her fingers. But this accident still sprained Jung-hwa's ankle, which pained Cheol-min deeply. He temporarily handed over his work to someone else and took Jung-hwa to the hospital immediately. And experiencing this incident made Jung-hwa open her heart completely to Cheol-min. Since her parents passed away, she had forgotten this feeling of being cared for and looked after for far too long. On the way back, Zhonghua limped after Cheolmin, the pain in her foot making the walk difficult.
엎힐래요?
후회하실 텐데.
괜찮아요. 엎혀요.
Cheolmin crouched down and suggested carrying her on his back. Zhonghua didn't refuse. She just extended her right hand, found Cheolmin's position, then slid it to his shoulder, leaning onto that sturdy back. The dim streetlights cast their glow, illuminating a man breathing heavily and the happy, smiling face behind him. The sudden accident made the already endless flight of stairs seem even longer. Upon reaching Zhonghua's doorstep, Cheolmin was already gasping for breath, completely exhausted. After a short rest, he went inside the room and helped Zhonghua find the cause of the drain clog. Pulling out the obstruction, it turned out to be a girl's intimate garment. Zhonghua snatched it away, stammering awkwardly. Before he left, Zhonghua pulled out 2 concert tickets and asked tentatively,
다른 사람 줘요. 나 음악 같은 거 잘 몰라요. 같이 갈 사람도 없고.
같이 가줄까요?
Stepping out of the room, Cheolmin couldn't hide his joy. He bounded down the stairs happily, completely forgetting his legs had been weak moments before. Zhonghua felt the same way. She was filled with anticipation for their first official date. A woman adorns herself for the one who appreciates her. Though blind, Zhonghua still went to the hair salon and got a hairstyle the owner deemed very fashionable. She carefully chose a dress and even applied beautiful makeup before setting out. Pushing open the door, Cheolmin had been waiting for a while. Upon seeing Zhonghua's new hairstyle, he froze for a second, then smiled slightly. The sunshine was bright, and the girl before him seemed like a flower, lovely and shy. To the music, Cheolmin's gaze never left Zhonghua. As an orphan, he felt blessed by heaven for the first time having met such a girl. In the restaurant, Zhonghua shared many stories about her past, but when accidentally mentioning her parents, a hint of unnoticed wetness and guilt flashed in her eyes. Cheolmin saw it but didn't press further.
그럼 옛날엔 뭐 했는데요, 젊었을 때는? 혹시 나쁜 짓 많이 하고 막 살고 막 그랬어요?
남의 일에 원래 그렇게 관심 많아요?
Noticing the coldness and warning in Cheolmin's words, Zhonghua suddenly felt disappointed. The glass slammed heavily on the table made her joyful heart plummet to rock bottom.
어떤 줄 알아요?
나 그런 거 몰라요.
Cheolmin's several barbed replies left Zhonghua utterly disappointed. She made an excuse and hurriedly got up to leave. Only then did Cheolmin realize he had said the wrong thing. So, after seeing Zhonghua home, he called out to her and answered the earlier question. It turned out he had been a boxer and had indeed done many bad things, but now he had reformed and chosen a different way to live. Zhonghua looked towards Cheolmin and, seeing he wouldn't speak further, coldly bid him good night, opened the door, and went back inside. In truth, Cheolmin wasn't just a top boxer, he was also a violent debt collector. During one job, he only meant to intimidate, but unexpectedly, the other person lit gasoline himself and jumped from the building. This accident triggered an even more horrific traffic collision. He hadn't had time to check before the police knocked on his door. He spent 5 full years in prison. Tormented by conscience, he went straight after release and became the security guard he is now. Fortunately, the man who jumped was saved in time. Cheolmin often visited the hospital to try to make amends. That day, a nurse gave him a hair clip, asking if he had a girlfriend to give it to. Cheolmin grinned foolishly, but didn't answer. Ever since they parted last time, he waited daily in the security booth, hoping Zhonghua would come. But the tapping sound of the white cane on the ground never came towards him again. Though Cheolmin wanted to reconcile deep down, he felt like a sinner, undeserving of anyone's forgiveness. Getting home from work that day, Zhonghua had just opened her door when she suddenly heard a man's voice behind her. It was that troublesome boss. He forced his way into the room unreasonably and forcefully. Flaunting his higher rank, his words grew increasingly suggestive, soon revealing his filthy nature. Zhonghua instinctively tried to resist, only to be met with a hard slap. Seeing her boss's twisted face, Zhonghua was terrified to the extreme. In her panic, she activated the personal alarm she carried, but another slap came down, shattering her only hope of rescue into pieces. At the critical moment, the sound of a door breaking down reached her ears. Upon seeing the scene before him, a surge of rage instantly shattered Cheolmin's reason. He threw punch after punch, deaf to the pleas for mercy. Like a starved wolf denied food for days, his eyes were fierce, determined to tear the person before him apart. Only upon hearing Zhenghwa's voice did he slowly loosen his grip, but a hungry wolf doesn't easily release its prey. The room finally quieted down. Cheolmin slowly approached Zhenghua, crouched down beside her, and the anger in his eyes quietly transformed into heartache and tenderness.
나 해고되면 아저씨가 책임질 거예요.
왜 참냐고요?
살아야 되니까.
도와줄게요.
아저씨가 뭔데 날 책임져요. 나 더 비참하게 만드는 거 알아요?
Cheolmin didn't speak. He silently stood up and quietly placed the hair clip on the table. Late at night, Zhenghua sat dazedly in the dim bathroom, shining the flashlight towards her eyes again and again. The fading glimmer of vision seemed to dim further. In the days that followed, every time Zhenghua went out, a shadow always quietly trailed not far behind. Sensing it, she showed no alarm. Instead, deep within her cold heart, she felt a sense of peace and spreading warmth. So, in front of the security booth, that familiar figure finally appeared again. Zhenghua chose to resign. She hoped Cheolmin could accompany her for a walk this weekend.
다음 주말에 시간 되면 어디 가까운 데라도 데리고 가줄래요?
Those not good with words often use actions instead. Before setting out that day, Cheolmin handed the puppy in his arms to Zhenghua, a golden retriever. He hoped that even in his absence, his beloved girl could feel companionship and happiness. He named the dog Muryo, meaning carefree, as in a life without worries. A gentle spring breeze blew through the car window, carrying the scent of new buds, softly brushing against two hearts drawing closer. By a lakeside, Zhenghua learned for the first time that Cheolmin was an orphan who didn't even remember his parents' faces. So she called out to Cheolmin. They crouched down together, each picking up a smooth pebble. Feeling the warmth transmitted through their palms, he looked at her. The breeze lifted her hair and gradually lifted the corners of her mouth too. So this firm, silent confession, accompanied by the playful dog beside them and the shimmering ripples on the lake surface, began to play its notes like a scorching, beautiful movement. Zhenghua's arrival was like a ray of warm sunlight descending from heaven, reigniting motivation and hope in Cheolmin's dark and desolate world. To provide Zhenghua with a better life, he sought out his former coach and returned to his boxing career. Besides rigorous daily training, he also took on a water delivery job. That seemingly awkward man actually possessed deeply romantic tenderness and attentiveness. He removed the light-blocking window boards in the room, smoothed sharp table corners, and dismantled the trip-prone threshold, eliminating every potential hazard one by one.
가구들 위치 좀 바꿨어.
턱도 없앴네.
뒤에 침대 있어.
Feeling the long-missed sunlight in the room, Zhenghua found Cheolmin's position and cupped his face, wanting to remember this man's features so intensely for the first time. Her fingertips traced his dark eyebrows, then his closed eyes, his high nose bridge, and slightly parted lips. Their eyes met, her bright smile so captivating that everything around them turned hazy and dreamlike. Their relationship rapidly deepened, laughter filling every corner of the room as if the past darkness and loneliness had never existed. Cheolmin's training showed initial results. He regained his former skills and gradually made a name for himself in various competitions. Zhenghua also learned massage techniques from books through self-study. Every night, she would relieve the fatigue in Cheolmin's back. After saving some money, they began planning a beautiful future together. Cheolmin suggested opening a small workshop so Zhenghua could make the bowls and vases she loved. Everything seemed to be moving in a positive direction. Until this day, when Zhenghua brought Cheolmin before her parents' memorial and spoke of the car accident buried deep in her heart, a memory she never dared revisit. That day was also a rainy night. Zhenghua was driving her parents when her attention was drawn to a flaming figure falling from the sky at an intersection. It was this momentary distraction that caused the devastating accident Zhenghua would feel guilty about for life. She lost her sight and her deeply loving parents. These words exploded like thunder in Cheolmin's mind. His breathing grew rapid, almost suffocating. He realized the victims of the traffic accident he indirectly caused were his beloved girl and her parents. All her misfortune and suffering stemmed from him. In the dark boxing gym, he pounded the heavy bag with furious punches until utterly exhausted, then knelt on the floor clutching his knife-twisted chest, breaking down, sobbing. Returning home that night, Cheolmin found dinner spilled across the floor and panicked. After searching, he finally found Jonghwa in the hospital. Seeing her smile towards him, Cheolmin turned away, losing all courage to meet her gaze. Fortunately, this accident led Cheolmin to learn crucial news from the doctor. Jonghwa's eyes still had a chance for treatment, but it must happen within a month, or she would become completely blind. This meant Cheolmin needed to earn a large sum quickly to cover the expensive surgery costs. He went to a nightclub and found Taesik, a man with underworld connections, who agreed to give him the money on one condition: fight in an underground boxing match. Cheolmin knew the dangers but agreed without hesitation for Jonghwa's sake. That day, Cheolmin stopped Jonghwa, lying that he had substantial savings and brought up the eye treatment. But for Jonghwa, her current life was satisfying, and she felt deep guilt over her parents' death, believing her blindness might be a form of atonement.
나 안 보고 싶어? 우리 애기 얼굴 안 보고 싶어?
Persuaded by Cheolmin, Jonghwa finally stopped refusing. She too longed to see the face of the man she spent every day with. Underground fights often involved death and retaliation. To protect Jonghwa, Cheolmin destroyed all traces of his identity. He then went to the hospital, staying by Jonghwa's side without leaving as her surgery approached the next day. Before surgery, Jonghwa reached out to touch Cheolmin's cheek, making him promise they'd see each other soon. Only after he agreed did she turn towards the operating room. After just 2 steps, she turned back to remind him once more.
밖에 있을 거지?
가긴 어딜 가? 갈 데도 없어.
Seeing how deeply Jonghwa relied on him now, Cheolmin's eyes filled with worry and reluctance. He had no confidence about that underground fight. This goodbye might be their last. Cheolmin soon arrived overseas, assuming a new, untraceable identity. After twists and turns, he entered the death-filled arena. Staring at the massive steel cage before him, he felt nervous and scared for the first time. He feared the girl waking in the hospital would never find him again. A sharp clang signaled the start of the brutal fight. His opponent was the arena's reigning champion, physically stronger and merciless. Within rounds, Cheolmin was overpowered. His punches lacked force, while the opponent's strikes were lethal. Agonizing pain blurred Cheolmin's consciousness. Luckily, the overconfident opponent revealed an opening at a critical moment. Cheolmin seized it, mustering his last strength to land a critical strike. But this victory made him enemies among those who lost money betting against him. Unprepared, he was struck by a speeding car shortly after leaving the arena, followed by waves of piercing pain. On the cold ground, only tears from the corner of his eye could convey his apology to the girl far away. Jonghwa's surgery was a complete success, yet not a trace of joy could be seen on her face, because the man who had promised never to leave had vanished from her life as if into thin air. Even the police could find no trace. Worse still, the house filled with their shared memories was soon to be demolished. She had indeed regained her sight, but she had also plunged into darkness. On moving day, a long-delayed package finally arrived. Jonghwa hurriedly opened it. It was the hair clip Cheolmin had once given her. Following the return address, she went to the hospital and found the man scarred by fire. This was precisely Cheolmin's intention. The night before Jonghwa's surgery, he had considered confessing everything about the accident, but he lacked the courage to speak, terrified she might abandon the eye treatment if she knew the truth. So he could only let the full truth emerge through the person involved. Jonghwa's eyes welled up instantly. The harsh reality stabbed her heart like a sharp blade. She went to the lakeside where they had pledged their love and sat for a very long time. Ultimately, she chose to clutch that smooth pebble tightly in her palm. Jonghwa's longing for Cheolmin grew ever stronger. She tried to recreate his likeness through the tactile memory in her mind. But no matter how she tried, the result was only a vague, cold clay figure. 2 years passed quickly. Following their original plan, Jonghwa opened a small workshop locally, refusing many worthy suitors, always staying put, waiting for that person to appear. Besides her own work, Jonghwa often volunteered at the hospital. That day, as usual, she was intently massaging an elderly patient, unaware that her voice had suddenly made a man in the next bed open his eyes. That man was none other than Cheolmin, who had been missing for 2 years. But seeing the familiar figure, he instinctively buried his face in the pillow. Now sight restored, she was radiant and beautiful. Tears already soaked his eyes. Suppressing the trembling in his body, he turned his head back away. Whether from guilt or his current physical state, he dared not and could not reveal himself to her. 2 years bedridden had caused Cheolmin's muscles to severely atrophy. Yet despite this, the hands massaging his back still paused briefly. For a moment, she almost recognized him, but when she looked up, she saw an unfamiliar name. Seeing the scarred face, she gave a tearful smile, her hopeful eyes dimming once more. Only after Zhonghua left did his right hand, clenched until white, slowly relax its grip, and his throat, taut as a string, began to convulse uncontrollably. After recovering somewhat, Cheolmin visited her workshop while Zhonghua was out. He bought a night-blooming jasmine plant, and while the clerk was distracted, quietly took his little turtle. To avoid burdening Zhonghua, he decided to leave this place for good. But the grown-up Muriel had not forgotten its master. Cheolmin was knocked down by Muriel, and Zhonghua, following closely, ran over, helping him up and apologizing. Looking at the familiar face, Cheolmin smiled and shook his head, then hurried away into the distance. At that moment, Muriel grew restless, staring in the direction its master left, wagging its tail and barking anxiously. Perhaps only Muriel knew how heartbroken and reluctant Cheolmin was at that moment. Soon, Zhonghua returned to the shop and suddenly noticed the little turtle on the shelf was gone. She asked the clerk, who didn't know either. Puzzled, she heard Muriel still barking persistently behind her. Looking intently, it was towards the direction that man had gone. Suddenly, as if realizing something, tears sprang to her eyes, and her heart began pounding violently. In that moment, Zhonghua finally realized the sallow-faced, emaciated man in the hospital, the one easily toppled by Muriel, was none other than her boxer boyfriend, the man she had longed for day and night. She rushed out the door, running in the direction he had left, a flood of bitter sorrow choking her throat, allowing only broken, gasping sobs to escape. Amidst the crowd, the man who had lit up her entire world vanished once more into darkness. Slightly calmer, Zhonghua drove towards the hospital, but staff informed her halfway that Cheolmin had checked out 2 weeks prior. The car screeched to a halt. Zhonghua slumped onto the steering wheel as if the whole world was abandoning her. Just as despair set in, a familiar place slowly surfaced in her mind. By the shimmering lake, Cheolmin took the little turtle from his bag and placed it in the water. Fate played a cruel joke. This was his only way to say goodbye to his beloved girl. The dead tree where they once sat side by side had long vanished. In its place were tables and chairs someone had left there. Cheolmin approached and was immediately drawn to the braille message etched on the surface. It was precisely the message Zhonghua had left.
아저씨 내가 그랬잖아요. 눈 뜨면 아저씨 얼굴만 보겠다고. 근데 왜 하루 종일 내 얼굴만 보게 만들었어요?
Cheolmin slowly turned around, summoning immense courage before gently lifting his gaze towards the tear-streaked girl. But as Zhonghua drew nearer, the determination and resolve in her eyes still made Cheolmin instinctively want to retreat. True love is a journey where souls align, a process where two hearts gradually draw near, merge, and redeem each other across the long years. It is absolutely not the fleeting firework of momentary passion, dazzling but brief. Simultaneously, in love, each person is a unique individual with their own edges and past. Understanding and acceptance are the keys to love's endurance. Just like Cheolmin and Zhonghua, both had painful pasts, both struggled in the quagmire of fate. Yet facing adversity, they chose to understand each other's pain and accept each other's imperfections. This led to that final warm and touching embrace. Life is never smooth sailing, and neither is love. Two people truly in love will stand shoulder to shoulder when the storm arrives, holding up a clear sky for each other. And the clasped hands transmit not just warmth, but also the confidence and courage to keep moving forward in the face of obstacles. This police officer ordered several of the most expensive dishes, rare and precious thing. Everyone hopes to be fortunate enough to meet that person whose heart beats in sync with their own. because only such a person could become the true turning point in our lives, writing a new chapter of destiny with us.
Sometimes, the most beautiful stories begin with the smallest acts of kindness. The 1994 movie It Could Happen to You, starring Nicolas Cage and Bridget Fonda, is one of those rare films that gently remind us what really matters in life: honesty, kindness, and love. This heartwarming story is based on true events. It follows Charlie Lang, a kind-hearted New York police officer, and Yvonne Biasi, a struggling waitress. When Charlie realizes he doesn't have enough money to tip Yvonne for her service, he jokingly promises to share his lottery ticket with her if he wins. The next day, fate takes a wild turn. He actually wins $4 million. True to his word, Charlie gives Yvonne half. What unfolds next is more than just a love story. It's a deep reflection on human nature, integrity, and the real meaning of happiness. 1. Kindness can change lives. Charlie's gesture seemed small at the time, a simple promise made in good faith. But it changed not only Yvonne's life, but also his own. The movie reminds us that acts of kindness, no matter how small, can have unimaginable ripple effects. When we choose to be kind, even when no one is watching, we open doors we didn't even know existed. It might not always lead to millions of dollars, but it often leads to something far more valuable: connection and fulfillment. Open quote. Kindness costs nothing, but its impact is priceless. Close quote. 2. Money reveals true character. Winning the lottery brings out the best in some and the worst in others. For Charlie, it amplifies his honesty and generosity. For his wife, Muriel, it exposes her greed and selfishness. This contrast shows that money doesn't change who we are, it only magnifies what's already within us. If you're compassionate, wealth can help you do more good. But if you're selfish, it only feeds that greed. Open quote. Your true character shines brightest when life tests you with success. Close quote. True love is built on character, not circumstance. As Charlie and Yvonne spend more time together, their friendship blossoms into genuine love. Unlike Muriel, Yvonne doesn't care about his money. She admires his honesty and warmth. Their relationship grows from shared values and mutual respect. It's a reminder that real love isn't transactional. It's not about what someone has, but about who they are when no one's looking. Love rooted in truth and kindness can weather any storm, even one worth millions. Open quote. Love doesn't demand wealth, it thrives on honesty and heart. Close quote. Nash 4. Integrity is worth more than gold. Charlie could have easily kept all the winnings and broken his promise. No one would have blamed him. But his conscience wouldn't let him. He chose to do what was right, even though it cost him his marriage and comfort. This is one of the film's most powerful lessons. Doing the right thing may be hard, but it always leads to peace of mind. In a world that often rewards shortcuts and selfishness, Charlie's story stands as a reminder that integrity is a treasure that never loses its value. Open quote. You can't buy peace of mind. You earn it through honesty. Close quote. 5. Generosity inspires others. Charlie and Yvonne don't hoard their winnings. They share their fortune with people in need, helping strangers and spreading joy wherever they go. Their generosity creates a chain reaction of goodness across the city. It's a beautiful reminder that giving doesn't reduce your wealth, it multiplies it. When you give from the heart, you invite more goodness into your life and inspire others to do the same. Open quote. Generosity is contagious. Pass it on. Close quote. 6. Happiness comes from the heart, not the bank. By the end of the film, Charlie loses almost everything: his wife, his money, and his comfort. Yet, he's happier than ever. Why? Because he stayed true to himself. The movie beautifully shows that happiness doesn't come from money, luxury, or fame. It comes from knowing you've done right by others and yourself. It's the quiet peace that comes when your heart and your actions are aligned.